can see. It's amazing, so amazing, so amazing, so amazing. It's amazing, so amazing, so amazing, so amazing. It's amazing.
Welcome to 2K Sports for another edition of NBA basketball. This is Kevin Harlan along with Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. Doris Burke will be reporting from the sidelines. It's a Nuggets home game. The fans around us are amped up here in the Pepsi Center. Look at the State Farm starting five. Here's Houston's opening lineup. Kevin Martin and Chandler Parsons at the 2 and 3. Patterson plays down low with the Sheik, and it's Lynn in at the point. And for the Nuggets, at small forward and power forward, Gallinari and Fareed. Iguodala out there with Lawson, and it's Mozgov in at the center position.
Well, Houston had an interesting season a year ago, Kevin, because remember they made that trade for Pau Gasol before the season started that was rescinded by the NBA. And then Kevin McHale, who was the first-year coach for the Rockets, he had to mend fences with the guys who were supposed to be involved in that deal, and he obviously did a nice job because the Rockets went on to have an excellent season.
Tip-off goes to Denver. Lawson outside. Dishes it to Gallinari. Fires, high post. Second chance shot. Mozgov with the bucket.
And he's on the board early.
The first to strike there. Nice hoop.
The Nuggets shooting their first free throw of the game here.
Now, the numbers last year for them at the line, not great. Just 73% free throw shooting as a team.
And, you know, whenever they get into a stretch where it looked like maybe they would turn it around at the line, they would immediately take a step back.
That's good for Mozgov. And Houston for so long has had so many great centers, Steve. You're talking about that. You know, post players from Akeem Olajuwon to Yao Ming. They still seem, though, Clark, to be looking for that big man.
Well, the most important thing, Kevin, is that under Kevin McHale, their new coach, they can keep getting better as a team while they try to find that big man to bring in. This is, to me, what keeps this team fun to watch.
Right block shot, and it's Gallinari again missing. Denver on D. It's a three-point game. There's the triple. No good. The Nuggets have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Here's Fareed. It's rebounded by Houston.
Well, last season, the injuries for the Nuggets allowed Kenneth Fareed to step into the starting rotation, and he really took full advantage. Terrific rebounder, and, of course, scored a little bit more than people expected him to. With that up-tempo Denver offense, he was able to finish in the lane off of drop-off passes and in transition.
Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
Martin, the pass to Patterson. Fareed's there. Patterson dishes to Parsons. Outside, Martin sinks the triple. Martin's got himself on the board with 3 there. And Kenneth Fareed, a high-energy player. He said he wanted his nickname to be the Manimal.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that one, but hey, if he feels good about it, let him roll with it because his game is certainly manimalistic.
Now we'll go to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Kevin McHale.
I asked him what players he was really eyeing on the scouting report, and he said one that might surprise you, Kenneth Fareed. He said he plays with so much energy and effort. He really sets the bar for the rest of the team. If we can limit his impact on the game, I think it'll really be to our advantage. Guy's an interesting take. We'll see if they can slow his roll.
Thanks, Doris. Here's Lawson. Can't get it to go. And Houston the other way now. Right side, Lynn. Lynn gets a screen from Patterson. Lynn kicks to Patterson. Tips it back in.
Now, sometimes offensive rebounds are lucky, but he anticipates and gets to the right spot before the shot goes up.
We're about 3 minutes into this first quarter. Now Iguodala. Iguodala off the pick from Fareed. 5 on the clock. Shoots over Patterson. And another miss by Denver.
And you know why he was open there. They didn't commit too much defense to him, and you can see why. He has trouble making that shot.
Well, this team in Denver is really built around the haul that they got for Carmelo Anthony in their trade with New York. Good group of players, a lot of young talent. They can build around these guys for a long time.
Timeout is called, first of the game for the Nuggets. And they have to continue to tweak and build after that Carmelo trade, but really they got the building blocks there. Clark, you and Steve have been talking about.
Well, the trade of Carmelo Anthony was a big move, but what often gets overshadowed in that is that leaving Denver allowed Ty Lawson to step up and really blossom into the star that he's becoming, and you add Danilo Gallinari and other pieces, and you can see why they've transitioned so well.
And that one's good. Houston in the lead. Here's Douglas. He dishes it to Lamb. Over Iguodala. Iguodala with the block. Shot clock at 6. Goes back up. And the basket by Moniunas. Nuggets have gotten just 3 of their first 9 shots to go down in this game. Miller outside. He feeds it to Iguodala. Backing him down. Back to Miller. Trying his luck deep. Here's McGee. And good on the basket. Book it. McGee's got his second bucket of the game to go.
He has such a great feel for how a missed shot is going to come off the rim. Really plays those angles well. That's exactly why he consistently beats defenders to the ball.
Here's Delfino. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. White the pass to Lamb. White a screen on Miller. And Lamb kicks to White. Stolen by McGee. Here's Chandler. Takes it up. Can't tie it up as that one misses. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. Rockets ahead, up by 2. From the Pepsi Center in downtown Denver, we're back in a moment. Miller's got himself going there, his first points of the game on the deep ball. And Steve, when you talk about Coach Carl's ability to overcome locker room turmoil, what do you think his secret is?
Well, he's just honest. You know, he's brutally honest, and I think players like that. They don't want to see a politician. They don't want somebody who's going to, just try to figure out how to do things. They just want to see somebody who's going to be honest with them and not play favorites and just, tell the team like it is. And I think that's worked for George Karl over the years.
And they're unable to get the tying basket there. Rockets have gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. Delfino passes to Lynn. And he's knocked off course by the D. The foul called. He'll shoot free throws. That is on Ty Lawson.
Well, one of the great stories that we've ever seen in the NBA took place a year ago. Linsanity, they called it. The emergence of Jeremy Lin as the Knicks point guard. Pretty amazing. He had been cut several times, but the Knicks thrust him into that starting role, and he just took off with it.
And Steve, you go back to that incredible start for Jeremy Lin, the first player on record to have at least 20 points and 7 assists in his first 5 starts.
And let's dig into those numbers even a little more, Kevin. In those 5 games, he set the record for the most points scored by a player in their first 5 starts since the NBA-ABA merger back in 1976. Remarkable.
Now, here is Gallinari, looking for his first bucket of the game.
Well, Danilo Gallinari out of Italy has emerged into a top-flight scorer in this league, a deadly shooter at 6'10", pretty crafty inside. And I think after Kevin Durant, he could be the second-best small forward in the Western Conference.
And the Rockets making a change here. Douglas has checked in. Gallinari hits them both. And Danilo Gallinari, 6'10" Clark, great size at the small forward position. The upside here is terrific.
Yeah, he's really a uniquely skilled big guy. He can handle it, shoot it from deep, driving, and I love his IQ and craftiness. This is a very clever basketball player.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
You know, Tony Douglas had the starting point guard role early last season for the Knicks, but just didn't run with it. He struggled with his shooting and his playmaking, so it became a season to forget for him on an individual basis as Jeremy Lin took his starting job.
And Tony Douglas, I think you'd say Clark in his first 2 seasons in the league prior to last season had been a pleasant surprise. But, you know, as Steve just said, last season was really a struggle.
Yeah, the growth isn't always going to be a straight line north. A late first rounder showed he could shoot the 3 and play tough defense, a little undersized when he has to play 2 guards. But he's still a guy that I think is going to be very productive going forward.
Iguodala, that's good.
After digging themselves that hole in the first quarter, this club is starting to shoot the ball much better now.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it takes a little while to work out the knots. I mean, they're starting to put it together.
Now here's Douglas. Over Miller. Blocked. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Shot from 12. And Iguodala with the basket, the assist from Anthony Randolph. And that's now 6 points for Iguodala.
You know, Houston for the last several years has tried to get a star player on their roster, but it's so difficult to do. There's only about 10 of them in the entire league. But what they've done is they've put a lot of good players on the floor. They've built their asset base, and they're poised to make a deal when the right one comes their way.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Guys, a new-look team in Denver. Less star power to be certain, but they've had success. Coach Carl said they're following the mold of the Spurs, saying of this Nuggets team, it's void of high-maintenance egos and attitudes. He said, when we decided to change the team pretty drastically, we wanted the players to be with us rather than fighting us. You get into a tug-of-war or a debate situation, and everybody loses. Kevin, he's so right.
Well, Doris, he's definitely happy with this young group of guys. They have a chance to be really good. Really, if you don't have a top 10 player in the league, you just continue to gather talent, and that's what the Rockets have really done.
Yeah, and you call that stockpiling assets. If you aren't building around someone, then you get as many good assets as you can because they're always movable, and I think Houston has done a nice job with that. They're in a position to add pieces or either trade for additional pieces now.
Not really the shot they were looking for, but still they got it to go.
Douglas against Miller. They need this. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Well, at least the defender got his money's worth on that one.
Yep, that was an easy whistle for the official.
The Rockets shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
You know, something you can point to when you're talking about their areas of success last season, free throw shooting.
And we're starting to see more free throw attempts, so I like the aggressiveness here in the second quarter, guys.
Well, you know, this is exactly what they need to do to climb back into this game. I mean, initiate contact, play smash mouth basketball, and get to that free throw line.
And Lawson, here we go. Shoots over a sheet. Again, the Nuggets score. 5 seconds left now here in the second. Douglas for 3. No good on the buzzer beater. And the first half ends in a close one. Nuggets lead by 4. And coming up after the break, it'll be Damon Bruce breaking down all the highlights from the first half of play.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
And it's time to break down the first half of action. I hope you're having a great Friday night so far. Out at Pepsi Center, the Nuggets ahead against the Rockets. They've been having their way inside, a huge lead when it comes to points in the paint, making it very hard to defend against them. Andre Iguodala leads the game in scoring. He has 6 points and also helped out with 2 rebounds. A scrappy effort by Houston. They've been aggressive, drawing fouls and converting from the charity stripe. Kevin Martin making a big contribution. Also getting into the mix, Tony Douglas. That's it for me here in the studio. Time to send you back out to Kevin Harlan and the crew for the start of the third quarter.
Andre Iguodala with a strong contribution so far in this one.
Now, it's been nothing but positive for this team. The way he's been really selective with his shot making, he's been very unselfish. I think this has been an efficient performance for him.
I agree with you, Steve. Very few questionable decisions, if any, from him, as he has always looked for the best shot every trip down the floor. I mean, I like the fact that he's judicious in his approach.
At small forward and power forward, Gallinari and Fareed. Lawson out there with Iguodala. And it's Mozgov in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the group for George Karl getting going here in the second half. Now, here's Gallinari. Kicks it to Fareed. Buries it down low. And the Nuggets lead by 4.
You know, it seemed like everybody in Denver was unified after that Carmelo trade a couple years ago. And it's a team that has kind of built a culture around unselfishness and teamwork. And it really shows in the way they play. They're always near the top of the list in assists.
The Nuggets leading by 4. Back to Gallinari. Fires the 3. Kevin Martin grabs the board. The Rockets shooting about 42% so far. Lawson against Lynn. Patterson. The basket good off the assist from Lynn. Well, if you watch the games, as you were saying, Steve, there really is a sense of unity in Denver, and it shows with them making that extra pass. A very fun team.
Yeah, you see it on the tapes when you watch them play. It shows up in the box score as well. I mean, Denver led the entire league in assists per game last year, Kevin, and it's obvious their unselfishness was one of the reasons they were the top scoring team in the league as well. You know, one might have thought that the Nuggets' 8-season playoff streak would have come to an end last season. Relatively young team. It changed personnel the year before, but they got to the 6th seed and really made the most of it in that first-round matchup against the Lakers.
The shot's good from Lawson. Just a little over 90 seconds gone in the third quarter. Lynn with it. Right side, Lynn. Over Lawson. The Rockets again can't hit. Back to the Nuggets, even with that young team we've been talking about.
Come on, guys.
The Sprite replay really gave you a good look at the action. Rockets trail by 5. And here is Lynn. And Parsons kicks to Patterson. Fareed on him. Patterson, that's good. Patterson's got 7 now in this quarter.
3 straight buckets in the paint. They're making it look effortless.
Well, speaking of effortless, you'd like to see a little more out of the defense. How about trying, guys?
Catching up on the changes for Denver. Anthony Randolph, he's checked in for Kenneth Fareed. Chandler comes in for Gallinari. And Andre Miller has subbed in for Andre Iguodala. Houston with a big group substitution here. White, he's checked in for Ashik. Delfino comes in for Chandler Parsons. Lamb, he's checked in for Kevin Martin. And Tony Douglas is subbed in for Jeremy Lin. Chandler kicks to Miller. Back to Chandler. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. And the Nuggets lead by 4.
Guys, good job working it down low and getting the high percentage look there. That's good basketball.
Wilson Chandler, a physical, athletic small forward out of DePaul. He's got nice toughness defensively, a great finisher around the rim, good rebounder, excellent all-around player.
Here's Lawson, and that one's good. And it's a 6-point Nugget lead. Rockets have gone 3 of 5 to start the second half, developing a nice rhythm out there. There's the dish to Delfino. He kicks it to Douglas. Patterson a screen on Lawson. Douglas dishes to Patterson. And the powerful one-handed slam.
Boy, that's some physical basketball out there. I'm glad I'm not in the middle of that. A hard pick and an assault on the bucket.
Old school stuff there.
Yeah, there was a lot to like on that play.
And the Nuggets with some changes. Mozgov, he's checked in for JaVale McGee. Kenneth Fareed comes in for Anthony Randolph. And it's Iguodala in for Andre Miller. Now here's Iguodala. 6 points for him. Another shot. And in he goes for the easy 2. Fareed's got 4 points in the quarter.
Well, when he came out of college, the one thing you knew with Kenneth Fareed was he was going to give you a lot of hustle. Great rebounder at Morehead State, and he brought that into the league with him. He attacks the ball, he attacks the glass, plays hard on every possession.
Well, that's just the kind of player he is. It's in his nature. He can't help but hustle after missed shots, and he's willing to battle for rebounds and loose balls with anybody. There's no backing down with Fareed. Here's Chandler, following the basket by Monty Eunice. Off the mark from 16 feet out.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get too many better looks from that range.
Martin, the pass to Asik. Lynn. To the paint. Outside for Martin. 5 to shoot. Another miss by Martin.
Well, the defense recognized how dangerous he is out there and got right up on him. Didn't give him any space.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. Fareed, no good.
I think he's been fighting his shot a little bit. He's not getting many of them to drop right now.
And it's Martin missing.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
The third quarter comes to a close. The Nuggets on top. They're up by 4. And fourth quarter basketball will be coming your way on 2K Sports right after this.